Next point is dealing with success and failure, what that looks like within the model of competing biblically. We're convinced, of course, we're biased because we're in sport. We're convinced that there's no finer educator in sport to be transformational and translate into life education. And the cool thing about sport is because there's so many experiences, particularly when you're in the practice setting or in the game setting, and that can be the off season also when you're practicing. There's so many opportunities for success and failure, not just success and failure, but humiliation and tremendous success, winning or beating somebody in a particular contest or aspect of the practice. You're dealing with success, failure, humiliation, discouragement, despair. You're dealing with all kinds of forces that are incredibly enhancing or problematic to somebody's identity. Now, the goal is their identity be in Jesus so that they're impervious to the downside and upside of things. The upside of success is that you can gain some confidence, but that confidence can turn into pride. The downside of competition, the downside of success would be the pride piece. And so you're dealing with these very razor-thin lines that success and failure can cause you either to be motivated or discouraged. Either one of them. Either one of them. Success can lead to enhanced experience and humility because you're so thankful to God, but it also can lead to arrogance. And failure can lead to mental toughness and tough-minded optimists and perseverance, or it can lead to despair. And they're neutral. It's how you take them that is going to decide whether it enhances you and the experience and others, or whether it tears down, whether it builds up or tears down. And that's on us as overseers to educate our people through the upside downside of success and the upside downside of failure, both of which are very instructive if handled well. Within our philosophy, competition smokes out sin, smokes out flesh, smokes out selfishness and ego and false identity. It uniquely smokes that stuff out. It also reveals. It smokes out bad stuff and it reveals good stuff. Humility, serving others, leadership. These are all possible within the context of success and failure when this philosophy is practiced. And they're done publicly. They're generally in front of others. It's one thing on a test in a vacuum, in a cubicle, to do something wrong, and maybe your supervisor finds out about it or not, and it may not even be addressed. But when your test is public, whether you're 6 years old or not, there's parents and family and friends. And that person feels the pressure of that. And if their identity is in their performance, that's problematic. But if their identity is in Jesus, then they're going to be like we call it momentum proof. They're going to be able to withstand stuff. They're going to be identity proof because they know who they are, they know who God is, they know who the enemy is, and they realize it's not the opponent. And that way they're going to be able to have an enhanced experience, whether they're 6, 16, or 60. This is the good side. Remember, the target is the glory of God. When you succeed, here would be handling it correctly. Psalms 115:1. Not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name be the glory because of your love and faithfulness. That would be a positive response to success. A negative response to success would be pride. We talk about humility being the mark of greatness. Proverbs 22, humility is the fear of the Lord, the wages of riches and honor. Its wages are riches and honor and life. Success has a tremendous opportunity to draw us to bow down to Master, give glory to Him, and grow in humility even as we success. The downside is that turns into pride, which leads to death and destruction. That's the risk. Proverbs 16, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. If you fail, the good news is, biblically, you then can ask forgiveness, or what we call repent. Repent then and turn to God. Say you're sorry. Admit that you're wrong. Do not blame and grumble and complain. That'd be a negative response to failure, and you can coach your guys through that. You definitely, in coaching, when a guy says that it's Johnny's fault, not mine, that's a problem because he needs to take responsibility for his part. His part may only be 1% of the problem, but he takes responsibility for his part, and he leaves the other person the opportunity to take responsibility for his part. And if they do not, which would be a poor response, God willing, that is supervised by his peers, the other players, or by the overseers. John 8:11, the woman was caught in adultery. And in that form, the principle is go and sin no more. Don't do it again. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I want to not do that again. To the degree that he wants to not do that again, to that degree, the chances increase that they'll not do that again. There's a lot of potential of roller coaster, of emotional experience that occur in sports on a daily basis. In regular life, kids that don't have sport as a vehicle of education, they lose the opportunity to deal with success and failure and learn the right and the wrong way to deal with both of those, which is going to end up affecting their marriage, their family, their relationships, and their work situation. It will affect everything. And sport, if used correctly, can enhance their ability to grow, both within the sport and also outside of the sport, which to us is more important because we're looking at eternity, right? And not just what happens on the grass. The grass matters, but it doesn't matter at all compared to eternity. The court matters, but it doesn't matter at all compared to eternity. And we're trying to use the court, use the mat, use the grass to enhance, glorify God, build up others, develop humility, to be somebody who's going to be a man or a woman of impact. This is how we use it. Success, failure, ego, pride, humiliation, selfishness, leadership, servant leadership, dying to yourself. All of these can happen. And to the degree that the overseers, the coach, the parent, whoever's in charge or running the show, to the degree that they have vision for that, degree they can leverage the sport experience, in season, off season, practice game, walk through preparation, weight room, whatever it is. They can use that to enhance both the play and thus the performance to close the gap between their potential and also impact the world, and eternity's on the table also. That takes a lot of vision. And people generally, unless they're acquainted with this philosophy, have a limited vision of how sport can be leveraged for eternity, for world impact, create a better civil society, orient people correctly to their identity, whether it's in Jesus or if it is just as in relation to other people. These are all part and parcel of dealing with success and failure, which is one of the most critical ways that our philosophy has impact that translates into transformational life.